sponsors and don't necessarily reflect those of this station or iHeartMedia.
Lunchtime. So, how's your morning going up till now? It's noontime, and two boys from Brooklyn want to serve you a huge portion of humor for lunch. So, break out the lunch pail or the sandwich you packed, and let Les and Freddie S bring you jokes and nostalgia mixed in with important information about medicine, food, dating, or just the stuff you need to help that bagel go down nice and smoothly. And if you have a story about anything you want to share, a bad date, a movie review, or just the strangest thing that happened to you at work, call in and join the fun toll-free at 1-800-889-0267. Right now, sit back and let's start the lunch break. Freddie S. and Les are ready, so here are the boys.
Good morning, Florida.
Good morning, buddy.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good lunchtime. This is Two Boys from Brooklyn. This is what you get when you got two guys from New York and you stick them in a radio television booth. This is what you got. Two
That's
boys
it.
from Brooklyn.
Nothing bad about that.
Nothing bad about that. I just want to say that today's show, the segment of it, is sponsored by Amp2.tv, where you can see today's show. It's being live streamed. And you can comment and call. My buddy here will give you that information in a minute. But I just wanted to slow it down a little bit at the beginning because Les gets all nervous. And we have some surprises today, some different looks, some different people in the studio, all sorts of good stuff. But we want you to know that Two Boys from Brooklyn is also looking for people that want to come and join the reality show that we're going to be shooting hopefully in 2 weeks, Les. So
That's
if you
great.
go to amp2.tv, you can put your name in there and we'll give you a call. The number there is 866-224-5422. And what we're looking to
Wait,
do,
I'm sorry.
866
Yes.
224-5422. And what we're looking to do is to bring people on with their talents. We're going to be doing skits and bits.
Yep.
All sorts of funny stuff.
Cool.
All right. Now, without further ado, because I know my buddy boy here is biting at the bit, this is the maniac with a mic.
I've calmed
Man.
down now. I'm on two shots now of medication now, so I'm very calm. So if I fall asleep during the show, you can call 800-889-0267 and kind of wake me up. Now, Freddie, I heard that we're going to be in the Big Apple soon, huh?
Yes, we are actually going to be putting the film aspect of what we do in the Big Apple, and not only the Big Apple, but also in Boston. And we're looking to put something in California as well.
My God, we're going nationwide.
Yeah, well, that's the object of the game. The show is to carry a multi-platform diversity, whether it's the East Coast, the West Coast, we'll try to get into California and Chicago. And the object of the game is to get sponsors to come in here and put their product up. You know, we've opened the mic. We have our fourth mic. You can come down and
That's right.
you can voice your own commercial on the air. We'll play it for 3 weeks. We're offering that to the public right now. So give us a holler, 866-224-5422.
Isn't that amazing? Someone can come here and talk about their product. I'm looking at this beautiful guest we have here today. It's
I
very
know.
hard for me to talk. So I'm going to look at you, Freddie, because guess what?
What?
It's easy to talk right to you. So the bottom line is this. Someone could come down and do their product, and could you imagine being able to be seen live in New York on a cable station that's big, Warner Cable, Verizon Cable, these are big names, to actually see yourself? I mean, that's fantastic. And we also offer being our websites.
Yes.
And all we ask is two things. Bring a hot dog for one reason.
Bring a hot dog.
Yeah, because I want to see you eat a hot dog with ketchup. I mean, that could be my greatest challenge.
I'll bring that for lunch on Monday.
Okay, why we? Yeah.
We're going to get to her right now.
Okay, let's introduce our guest today.
What, would you like to do the honors, or do you want me to do the honors?
I think since you know her that well, I'm just looking at those beautiful blue eyes, so you go.
What are you talking about? I just met this chick in the parking lot. I don't even know what the hell her name is.
Do you have any money?
Do I have any money?
Yeah, because we don't like
If
people
we're
here.
in Brooklyn and you ask that question, you're in big trouble.
Oh, you're one of my people. Another Jew from Brooklyn. All right, baby, go ahead.
Did he just ask you if you had any money?
I don't know. Is he looking me digging into my pockets right now and just paying to play?
Wait, paying to play. Hold on a second.
All right, so,
I understand
you know,
what that means.
So
okay.
far, nobody's even introduced me. This is a real
This
Brooklyn gal.
This is now you have a show name. What's your show name? What are we using?
Oh my goodness! I've had a lot of names growing up. I've been
No,
called.
not what they called you. Just what's your show
My
name?
name is
'Cause
Liz Goodman.
No, we know that.
No,
Liz
Liz
Goodman.
Showbiz Liz, Smiler. Which one do you want to go with?
No, I like the other one.
Showbiz Liz.
Showbiz Liz.
Showbiz Liz.
Showbiz Liz.
Well, as Showbiz Liz been doing the job as any good showbiz girl, the show is called Two Brooklyn Boys.
Two boys from Brooklyn.
Two Boys from Brooklyn.
She doesn't even know what set she's
Oh
on.
my
You
goodness!
might be at the wrong. You might be at the wrong station. That's right across
She
the
doesn't
street.
even know what station she's on.
All right, so we're two boys
Take a ride
from
at
Brooklyn,
Walmart.
right? Two boys from Brooklyn.
Yes.
Right now, my goal is to make this two boys from Brooklyn and a gal because I'm the gal and I'm from Brooklyn, boys. So if you want to talk about some Brooklyn things, I can give
Wait
you
a
some
minute.
Brooklyn
You're from
facts.
Brooklyn,
I
right?
am from Brooklyn.
So you're not a gal, you're a broad.
I am. Well, that's true. I'm abroad, but
In
you know
Brooklyn,
what?
That's what they called
Broad.
it, right? I mean, no
Right.
disrespect.
No,
that's
no,
what
no.
they called it.
True,
That's right.
true. And as a Brooklyn girl, I can't even hear what's going on because we can't mess up the hair. You know what I'm saying? And I
How
don't
much
wanna wear
hairspray
these
does it take
things.
to hold that hair in place?
Oh my goodness! If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
My goodness. gracious. And what kind of hairspray? You use hair in that?
Actually, I use Sebastian.
Oh!
Sebastian is great.
I use Aquanet, $1.50 a jar. My hair is perfect. I don't have that much hair, so I have to kind of move it around. You know what that's like, right?
Absolutely. I move around my hair all the time.
So being
Slightly.
a girl from Brooklyn and a girl named Showbiz Liz from Brooklyn, one of the things I wanted to tell you guys is I don't know if you're aware or if your listeners out there are aware that there's a lot of famous people that are actually from Brooklyn.
Oh, yes.
And I brought a list, and I'm going to name a few of my favorites.
Okay.
And then, of course, if there's anyone listening and they want to call in and talk about their favorites or their experience meeting any of their favorite celebrities, that's always a fun thing to do.
Okay, so if you want to call and talk to Liz, you can call us at 800-889-0267, and the beautiful and talented Connecticut will put you right through.
What number? Hold on. What number is that? Wait a minute. We didn't even say hello to Connecticut.
Well,
Connecticut!
wait. Hold on a
Hey.
second.
Hi, Connecticut.
Hello.
You started the show today.
I
I
know.
gave you the opportunity to be the
I
big
know.
macha,
I know.
right?
Absolutely,
You know,
he
in
did.
Spanish, that sounds like diarrhea. Don't
Tell
say
what big macha means. Go ahead. The big
right?
deal, right?
Right?
It
Connecticut.
means
you know,
a
that
big
doesn't-
deal because I'm a Jew from Brooklyn.
So am I.
But you know, when I was a kid, my mother used to always say to me, "If you're not going to marry a Jew, marry an Italian because you
Oh,
both
yeah.
love to feed your bellies and cook." And what did I do? I was the schmuck who married a guy from England. So the best part about that is I learned to talk like this, and I learned to talk like that as well. So you know, it works for you when you go on vacations. You can
Very
switch your
nice.
accents
She's a
up.
voice. She's a
So-
voice ventriloquist.
Okay, let's
But wait
go.
a minute.
Let me
hold
give the
on,
number
hold on.
again.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Let's say hello to Connecticut.
Hi, Connecticut.
Hello, you.
Yo, another Brit. That's
I
it.
can
I'm
do
out
it
of
too.
here.
Are
Yeah.
you doing a British accent? I can't hear you because I forgot to put on my headsets. Hold on a
Oh
minute.
yeah.
And if you go to M2, you can see Liz put on her.
Hello,
Hey, you go
Connecticut.
over there.
Connecticut.
Running out of things to say.
When I start the show, who was the first person I mentioned? You.
Me.
Okay. He's a novice. He's an electronic genius, but he's a novice.
He's a Puerto Rican.
I gave him one chance to open the show.
Did you hear what she said?
You're a Puerto Rican. He called you a Puerto Rican.
I'm a
He's
Puerto
the
Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Oh, you're the Puerto Rican.
That's
Okay,
right. I'm,
so
I'm
wait.
the jelly between the peanut butter and jelly.
Now,
So can I ask you guys a question?
no. I want
Quick
to say,
question.
we're trying to keep our show where it's on the same track. So you said you
I
want
was
to...
going to go into the thing
Yes.
about the celebrities,
Go
but I
ahead.
have a quick question before I get there.
Yes,
One
ask
of
the
the
question,
things
yeah.
that I was researching, because I'm actually a journalist, that was my background.
Who cares?
And I was researching, the old expression, forget about it,
Okay.
and why the New York accent is on its way out. There's a lot of reasons why the New York accent is on its way out. One
It's
of the
not
main
on the way
reasons is
out.
it is. Actually, there's a New York Times and there's a Google study that's actually called "Why is the New York accent on its way out?"
Yeah, and I also read where Donald Trump was going to win Iowa. It was written too. And that didn't happen either.
You can't always believe what you read.
wanna
But
hear
my
about that,
point of
buddy?
that is what is actually sexier to a guy? To hear a girl talk like this to them all the time? Yo, guy, I just love you so much. You got some big balls. You know what I'm saying? And I mean kind of balls that you play basketball with. That's what we do in
that's
Brooklyn.
a
We
good
shoot
rebound.
hoops all day long.
Well, let me ask you.
Or
let me
do
ask-
you find a girl who talks to you a lot like that from England is a much sexier accent? So my ask before I even get into the
Could I
famous
answer that?
people.
Could I
from-
answer that question?
Absolutely.
I can answer
What
it, too.
is
I like
sexier
women
to
that
a
just
man?
shut up. To
You
be
see,
real
but I had a better.
Connecticut, just show people what you're
I
doing.
had a better
You're doing.
response. Do you want to hear this response? I'm gonna tell you what I like.
I
better.
do.
Okay, this is what I like better. You ready? Connecticut, you ready? Because there are two women in the booth. You ready?
Yes.
You hear nothing? That's what I like.
Another man who doesn't like a woman who speaks.
Actually, that's not true. I like a woman that speaks. I like a woman who can hold an intelligent conversation, but can be a little goofy at times. If you can't be goofy, you can't hang out with Freddie Fix.
You're looking at
I don't know. I'm looking at you. You're the goofiest person I've ever met. Look at that. And she's Spanish.
That's why we have her here, because she's really good at what she does too.
Hablo español.
No, not
Okay.
habla. But that's okay too.
Hablas.
Okay,
All right,
guys,
so where we go?
we don't want the show to go off course. You
No,
were
I
going to
understand.
mention something,
Okay.
so let's get that done.
So some of my favorite unknown, well, some are known, some are not known, people that were from Brooklyn. Michael Jordan,
Right,
Norman Rockwell,
Right.
Jerry Stiller. I actually worked with him. Fabulous guy. Joan Rivers, Mike Tyson, Bernie Sanders, of course. Did anyone know that Priscilla Presley was actually a Brooklyn girl?
yes.
I didn't know that.
If you go to the Water Bagel Company, you see on the wall of all the people that grew up in Brooklyn, Neil Diamond,
Neil Diamond's on my list.
Barbara
Mike-
Streisand.
Barbara Streisand's on my list. David Blaine,
Yep.
Anne Hathaway,
Yes.
Jimmy Smits. Did
Yep.
anyone know he was from Brooklyn?
I did.
Eddie Murphy. I
Yes.
thought he was a Long Island boy, but he's a Brooklyn
Right.
boy. Mel Brooks,
Oh gosh, yes.
John Turturro, Rita Hayworth,
Rita Hayworth.
Yeah.
Rita Hayworth, Brooklyn girl, Mickey Rooney, Larry King, and my favorite, who I love, Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Oh, here we
is
go.
my
I love Marissa.
favorite.
You know, I've had
been
to hear
dying
this for
do
3
this.
days.
Yes,
She's been doing it for
I'm
3
dying
days. Let's
to
take
do
a
it.
commercial break on it.
You're not gonna let me do my bit.
Yeah, do your bit. Do your bit.
My favorite. I actually worked with Marissa Tomei a long time ago when I was working on a film set. She's one of the nicest women, and I'm very happy she's so successful right now. She's got a huge cooking show with her husband. She's a fabulous gal. But my favorite thing was my first introduction to her, which was a movie called My Cousin Vinny.
Oh God.
And my favorite skit, which I used to love to do, which is, Vinny, we agreed to get married when you won your case 10 years later. My niece, the daughter of my sister, is getting married, and my biological clock is ticking like this. And at this rate, we ain't never getting married.
She must be nervous
I-
because it sounded a whole lot better yesterday.
Love. Oh, I'm
must be-
sorry, I got a little nervous.
She must be
but
nervous.
I,
Are you nervous?
I'm nervous. Should I try it again?
No, I think once was enough.
I think we had
But
enough
the
of
point
that.
is, I just love her. She's fabulous.
She's fantastic.
And
Is
she's
she,
doing
has she
really
done
well
any
now.
movies recently? Anybody know?
Oh yeah,
She's got a
she
TV
do, yeah,
show
she-
right now.
She
Was she
did
doing a
do-
show? Mm-hmm. What's she doing?
She did do a movie. I think. God, the last. She just did one recently. I can't remember. I love Marissa Tomei. You know where she got a break?
I thought it was My Cousin Vinny.
No.
What was
I
it?
thought she broke her left leg.
No. She got. I can't remember. She was the offshoot of the Bill Cosby show when she was in college with Bill Cosby's daughter, and she was one of the girls. Do you remember?
I didn't know that.
A different world.
A
But it's
different
actually
world.
Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
right? But that's the Brooklyn boy.
That is our all-knowing daughter.
Actually, she's doing a show right now on the Food Network. Her husband is a famous chef from Italy, and they're doing some traveling food show where they travel around the U.S. to different cities and try to, I think, mimic different food
No.
from the cities.
Are you sure? I haven't seen Marissa.
I heard her
Tomei.
on another talk
No.
show the other day
I watch the
talking
food.
about it.
I watch the Food Network because I'm passionate about food. I can't cook, but I just love the
You love
show.
eating.
And you want to hear something funny about that? When that show first went on cable, they were going to drop that show because most of the cooks that were on there, the chefs, I don't want to mention the
Food
names.
Network show?
Yeah, the Food Network they were great chefs, but they didn't have the presence to be personalities. And then their big thing was getting Emerald on. Once Emerald got on, and he has this personality, it became a very good show. And then all the chefs started. Bobby Flay was great, and now it's one of the top shows on cable.
I think she's on a Food Network show, not the Food Network. I'm trying to say like one of the food networks, but I'm not sure which network it is. I'm going to look it up.
I
If
know-
anyone knows, call us up and tell us what is the network
that number,
Marissa
Les?
Tomei is on.
That number is 800-889-0267, or you can tweet us or text us. Ray, give the number that people send questions to. Your number.
They can go to the chat box at amp2.tv or you can call 866-224-5422. But call in on the
Yeah, come on, call in and you can talk and we can have a nice conversation.
Now-
Anything you want to talk about?
Talking about food, do you know how much it costs to get a permit to have a hot dog cart in Manhattan in
Oh,
Central
God,
Park?
no.
How much?
A year? $289,000.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know how much a medallion is now in New
Same
York?
thing, isn't
I know.
it?
I know.
250,
No, I
think.
know what a medallion costs in New York.
$1.5 million.
No.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Is that amazing?
How
You
many
don't-
years does it take to make that back?
In New York, well, the beauty of New York is, with the advent of Uber,
Right.
you could take someone from the airport. You could take someone from a hotel to the airport, but you can't pick anyone up from the airport. So
You
the
have to drive
cab,
around in circles.
no, they're not allowed even in the airport, because if you don't have if they see that Uber on the back of your car, they fine you.
I didn't know
And
that.
they take your Uber and they impound it.
Right.
Interesting. So that's how the medallions are making their money from the
Absolutely.
airport trips.
Well, to be real honest with you, I mean, the cabbies that are spending that kind of money for a medallion, that's not really fair to them. I mean, that's a lot of money.
I can't believe they can afford that kind of money. That's for one medallion?
Yeah.
One medallion.
That's insane.
But what they do is you rent out your medallion. You don't drive your car 7 days a week.
That's
you say,
correct.
give me 25,000, give me 50,000.
right.
Yeah, but you'd have to rent it out for $250,000 just to even start
What-
to recoup your investment.
What kind of person drives a medallion in New York City? Let's be honest.
Immigrants? Mostly.
That's a nice word for it. But that immigrant has a family of 60. So each one gives you $20,000 and you're way ahead of the deal.
True.
But what you say, Freddie, is true. I mean, the guy
I know
that's
it's true. I spoke to one yesterday.
I'm gonna tell you a very funny story about medallions. Okay, with my buddy, we would walk on Miami Beach every Saturday. Just two old guys reminiscing about New York. We all both grew up from New York, and we're sitting down at one of the restaurants there, and this guy is sitting down next to me with his wife, which I tried to pick up until he came over, and just to have some fun. And I'm sitting and talking to him. He says, I was trying to get my boat on a slip down here in South Beach, but it was too expensive. I said, how big is your boat? He said, 90 feet. I said, do you drive? He said, no, I have a crew. I said, don't take this the wrong way, but what do you do? He says, I own 10 taxi cabs.
That's
right.
how he earns his
That's how
living.
he makes your money.
So we were talking about food a few minutes ago. I want to bring it back for a minute.
That's fine.
That, I don't know if people are aware, but there's some really, really famous food chains and restaurants from Brooklyn as well, right? And I did a research the other day, and these particular restaurants, which I love, and you may have both been to.
Probably.
They've been established for over 50 years. I mean, that's like crazy long for a restaurant.
Sure.
So let's name some of those. Famous Nathan's.
Oh,
What's
God.
better than a Famous Nathan hot dog?
Nothing.
Nothing is better. And their French fries are even better than their hot dogs.
I want to stop you for 1 second. You weren't here. when
Coney
we did it.
Island, Famous Nathan's.
What do you put on your Nathan's hot dog?
I'm a
Oh,
ketchup
here
girl.
we go.
I'm a
Again,
ketchup girl. I'm a ketchup girl. I don't
Hey,
like mustard. I
ring
know.
the
I'm not
bell.
a Jew, and I ain't from Brooklyn because I don't like mustard.
Ring the bell.
I
She
hate it.
likes it, the ketchup.
It's not even worth the bell. Okay, go.
Me
Continue
too.
what you're saying. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Peter Luger's. Best steaks anywhere.
But it's not franchised.
No, it's not. These others aren't necessarily
There's Peter
franchised,
Luger's here, too.
but it's
No,
a great steak place.
Not a Peter Luger's. Not the original.
Grimaldi's Pizza, not franchised, but the best pizza anywhere.
Yeah, you're right.
Mafia pizza?
Grimaldi's, yeah.
Liz, how long does it? How long does it take to get
Connecticut.
into
You
Peter
like mafia
Luger's?
pizza?
Peter Luger's.
Yeah.
From where?
And what I'm saying is,
Grimaldi's
you
is
can't
the
get
best.
into that place.
No, you need it's a year
Yeah,
waiting list.
yeah.
You
Go
have
ahead.
to know someone.
Yeah.
You got to grease the
Yeah.
spoon. You know what
Peter
I'm
Luger's.
saying?
Yes, you're right. Peter
Grease
Luger's.
the spoon.
Grease the spoon.
Peter Luger's is one of the finest. You're right. Keep going. This is very interesting. I like this.
Let's see.
Peter Luger's.
Tatiana's Russian Buffet.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know.
What
I
kind of
did
food
not
is that?
know
I
that
know
that
the
was
Russian
one of-
tea room, but I don't
Yeah,
know
Russian tea room.
Tatiana.
But this one I never heard of, but I like that one.
It's on
Tatiana.
there.
Somebody call Tatiana. Let's get her on the line.
Okay,
What kind of food
there's
she
a
sells.
lot more of them, but I didn't download the rest of them.
How
There's
about
a list
Sammy's?
Of 13.
Sammy's Steakhouse.
I didn't see that one on my list. I only downloaded the first 5. Again, call us up at
Yeah, please.
What's the number?
800-889-0267. This is very interesting.
and
Keep
tell
going.
us your favorite New York, Brooklyn, down and out restaurant where
Okay.
you want to go and
Now-
drink and party or just have a great meal.
Now, Liz is new to the set. Liz, how do you eat your pizza? With a knife and fork? How do you eat your pizza?
Who eats pizza with a knife and fork?
And there's another New Yorker for you.
New Yorkers.
You eat pizza with a knife and
Oh,
fork?
no, we're New Yorkers. We fold them.
We fold.
Yeah, we fold.
Yeah, you ever go to a restaurant in South Florida and they sit with the knife and fork and taking, and you just want to grab?
There's
You know,
no
Les-
pizza in South Florida.
Les,
That's the problem. It's the worst pizza on the planet.
I got some text. Les likes to eat pizza so the oil goes running down his
Oh
arm.
yeah.
Okay, so he can
that's
lick
a
his arm
good
later.
pizza.
Why not?
That's what he does. He walks around licking his arm. So if you see him licking his arm, that's why.
I don't know if it's Grimaldi's or another place.
Oh,
but
Grimaldi's
there
is
is
a-
a pizza place. Is that the square pizza that is
Grimaldi's,
lined out the
yeah,
door under
Grimaldi's-
the bridge? Is that
Yeah.
Grimaldi's?
Grimaldi's. Well, Grimaldi's is a very famous pizza place. They don't make Chicago.
What's the one under the Brooklyn Bridge? And people line up all around it's like a 40-minute line just to get these baby little square pizzas. What are the square pizzas called? Only in New York.
Chicago pizza.
No, that's
No.
Chicago.
Sicilian.
Sicilian. You're right. I
You
apologize.
can't get a
He's
real.
been in Florida too
Oh
long.
my
Yeah.
goodness, Chicago. Chicago deep dish pizza. New York, it's a
Sicilian.
Sicilian.
That's right.
I can't remember. You're right. It's right under.
Under the bridge, you wait hours.
If anyone
for that.
wants to tell us which pizza parlor that is, it's on the tip of my tongue. 800-889-0267.
It's a different bridge. I forgot what bridge it is.
Triborough?
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg
And there's
Bridge.
a line out the door. I've been trying to find that place for years.
Joseph's?
No.
It's just you literally when you get up there, it's these two tiny little baby slices of Sicilian, but they're forget about it. They're out of this
Forget
world.
about it. Come on, honey. Talk. Let's see what else you got there.
All right, what else? Okay.
Well, I got something for you here. Somebody just
While
sent
I'm
us-
looking, you give your
Well,
something. I've got 20 fun facts.
Somebody just sent us in. Do you know that Washington Square Park, Union Square Park, Bryant Park, Madison Square Park, I don't even know where that is, in Manhattan, are all cemeteries?
Oh my goodness, no.
Wow.
So I have to
There are
lift my legs
20
and close my eyes when I drive by? Do you remember that when you were a kid?
You have to lift your leg?
A Brooklyn girl
Okay, I
was
think
raised,
this
you
is-
lift your legs in the car, you close your eyes, and you don't look at the cemetery.
But why do you lift your leg?
I don't know.
Hold on a
It's
second. There's a
superstition.
cemetery right here next door to us, so you're gonna have to lift your leg the whole show.
I'm going to tell you, I've been on this planet a long time. I can understand closing your eyes,
Just
but
like lift your legs, close your eyes, and
Lift
don't
your
look
legs.
when you drive by.
No, what we used to do is we used to turn the car radio off and do the cross when we go by a cemetery. But anyway, there are 20,000 people buried in Washington Square Park. And the reason I bring this up is because I graduated on top of all those bodies because
Really?
we
Where'd you
used
go
up
to
the whole
school?
park. NYU.
You went to NYU.
Yeah.
But that's not in Brooklyn.
There's a lot of things not in Brooklyn.
I went to Queens College for 2 years and then finished the University of Miami.
That's right. I mean, he didn't even finish his tour. He's already out of Florida. But I thought that was an interesting, morbid fact.
So, you know something that's also really interesting about Brooklyn? Did you know the first battle of the Revolutionary War, and I've got that in my notes somewhere, was actually in Brooklyn? And
Yes,
it
it
was
was.
called, let me find it, what was the name of it? Oh my goodness, I forgot the name. Does anybody know? There was a certain name to that. Oh, here it is. In August and September of 1776, the Battle of Long Island, or we should say Long Island,
Long
if we're real
Island.
Long Islanders, also called the Battle of Brooklyn, was fought in Kings County. It was the first major battle in the American Revolutionary War following the Declaration of Independence. You can find this information out on a website called brooklynbuzz.com, which I found
Really?
a lot of interesting facts. So other interesting facts was Twizzlers candy was developed in Brooklyn in 1845.
I love Twizzlers.
Yep.
I used to like Twizzlers.
1884, the Brooklyn Bridge was considered stable, and the reason they found it to be stable is Barnum and Bailey had to run
Barnum and who?
21.
Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, the
Had to
circus.
run 21 elephants over the bridge to prove that it was stable.
Wow.
Funny facts, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Do you know that the
Someone actually researches our show. I like that, Freddie.
You know, I got one for you. The Federal Reserve Bank in New York's Wall Street.
Hold it, guys. We got Carmen. Is coming up. Carmen from Tamarack wants to talk about New York. Is that right? Okay,
Carmen,
here we
you're on
go.
the air. Carmen, give us a good word.
Hi, Carmen.
Hi, Carmen.
Okay, I just wanted to share years ago, my family and I, my mom and dad and sister and brother, we used to go, before you hit the Williamsburg Bridge, we used to go stop at a push cart, with the Frankfurters, and they were unbelievable.
Oh,
And,
yeah?
that's my fondest mememories of the old Frankfurter.
Well, Carmen,
So-
what was the name of those hot dogs in the push cart?
It was shirt.
No, you got it.
With an S.
Sabret.
So, Brett.
yes.
Sabret.
Yes.
There we go. Sabret hot dogs.
I still
Carmen,
shop in
Carmen, do you
Manhattan.
put ketchup on your hot dog?
No, mustard and sauerkraut.
Oh, God bless you. I got
I
two.
live in Tamarack, but I'm a New Yorker. And
I got two
I
people
go back
here.
and forth.
I got
Because
two people here,
Frankfurter-
Carmen, that put ketchup on the hot dog. I'm the only
No.
one that puts much in stuff. I love this lady right now.
Carmen, when you go back to Brooklyn, at least when I go back to Brooklyn, there's two places that I have to go to before leaving. One is to Nathan's in Coney Island.
Yes.
Two is pizza. Actually,
Yes.
three. And the third is to go to Manhattan, actually, and go get a hot dog from a hot dog stand with a pretzel.
Oh, yeah, a
Those are the
pretzel.
three
Yes,
things I have to
absolutely.
do.
I don't go to too many restaurants, but that would be what I would choose
You're right.
as far as eating goes. Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Love
Love
it.
it, Carmen.
Okay.
Nice
Carmen,
meeting
thank you so
Thank
much
you
for calling.
in.
Very good.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks,
good one,
Carmen.
Carmen. Thank you.
Thank you, and you as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, and Carmen's our first call-in for the new show.
Well, considering we've only been on for 3 days, I mean, I think that's pretty good. So if there's another person out there listening to our show, that would be really good.
That's right.
Well,
we can have two. Then we'll be like Donald Trump.
Brooklyn boys and a gal.
Hey,
That's
you
what
must
it
be.
is.
You must be
Brooklyn
good luck.
boys and a broad.
She's
And a
our
broad,
broad.
boys. I'm
Not a
sure.
gal.
she's our good luck charm. Look at that.
Not a
Come
gal,
on, let's
a
go.
broad.
Come on, I
Call it. I got the Federal Reserve Bank on New
Okay.
York City's Wall Street contains. You know that it's 80 feet beneath the ground. Did you
Real?
know?
No, I never knew.
80
Wow.
feet below contains 25% of the world's gold bullion.
Really? Wow, that's interesting. I thought it was Fort Knox.
No, I heard there's no gold in Fort Knox.
I got news to you. I think what's his name's there. I think Jimmy Hoffa's buried in Fort Knox.
Hoffa, he's probably holding on to the money.
Probably is.
I can barely pronounce this because you know Brooklyn's background is actually Dutch based, right? That's how.
No, I
Brooklyn
just
came
found
to
it.
be.
Did you know that? I
And
didn't
Brooklyn's
know that.
official motto is Ein Dreit macht Mate. It's written in the old Dutch language and it translates to in unity there is strength. And the name Brooklyn actually came from a Dutch word, which I did have downloaded, but again,
That's okay.
Can't find it. So please call us in and help. If you're Dutch and you're from Brooklyn, call up and tell us how to pronounce the original Brooklyn name, which is a Dutch name. And again, it means unity, there is strength. Ein Dreit macht Mout.
That sounds German.
That's what I was going to
Well,
say.
what
Sounds German.
German, Brooklyn, Dutch? You know, because the Brooklyn accent is actually derived from all the immigrants coming early on, and you
It's
had
a
the
mixture of
Jewish
it's a
and
mixture
the
of all.
Italian
Yeah,
and
that's
the-
true. It's a
that's
mixture of
what
all those.
created Brooklyn
Yeah.
accent.
All right,
Remember,
listen,
New York was New Amsterdam once.
That's correct.
It
You're
was.
absolutely right.
Yes, it was New Amsterdam.
All right,
And
boys
it
and
was the
girls.
capital.
I want to take a break at this point of the deal, so we can talk a little bit about Dr. Pinozo and things
Yeah.
of that nature. So why don't we do this? Why don't you take a break? Why don't you give that number if anybody has another New York story to share?
That's 800-889-0267, and we'll be back in about 60 seconds, right?
All right.
I have another couple of fun facts too that I just found.
Please welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet network that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet television production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development and they use all the latest platforms to help make your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes and live streaming, as well as tape productions. Let AMP2 TV handle all of your television production needs. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP, the number 2.tv. Or call them at 1-866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
Have you ever had a business idea that you thought would be a great solution to tough challenges in today's world, but have no idea of how to get started? You don't want to waste investment money on ideas that just don't work. Introducing Health and Wealth Seminars, a sophisticated advertising agency with over 40 years in the ad business. What makes Health and Wealth different from other agencies is that they fit your product into the public's need. They help put together the strategy of your business before you commit thousands of dollars and just find out those ideas just don't work. Health and Wellness Seminars carries advertising contracts, radio and television contracts, and even a production service contract that will cover all of your business needs. Call today, 954-303-9563, and let Health and Wellness Seminars carry your business to the next level. The number is 954-303-9563. And remember that what happens when you don't advertise is nothing. 954-303-9563 is the number you need to get your business started in the right direction.
Could one conversation change your life? When was the last time you talked and worked with someone, the right health practitioner, about your health and wellness? When was the last time, or maybe the first time, you received the personal attention and the individual program you deserved? Because no one program works for everyone, and the only program that will work is the one that is truly yours. Coaching for Health is a hands-on, customized health and wellness program that truly will change your life. Susie Bricker, a certified health coach, will be your personal advocate for living an energized and healthy life. She works with her clients to help them create and maintain a way of life that's healthy, flexible, fun, free of denial, and last but not least, gets results. By working together, bio-individual programs and lifestyle changes are made that are sustainable and that best support and target the individual needs and goals of each client. For more detailed information, please go to Coaching for Health's website at coachingforhealth.net or email coachingforhealth at susan.brickercoachingforhealth@outlook.com. Get the results you're looking for now and for the future, and give yourself the gift of great health and wellness that you so richly deserve. You're lunching with two boys from Brooklyn who invite you to advertise on their show. Share your good news. Just call 888-224-5422 and get all the information. There are plenty of options, and this could be a great chance to get the word out about your business or service. That's 888-224-5422. Now let's get back to those two boys from Brooklyn.
You on, big boy?
Hey, here I go. Let me tell you about the greatest thing that's ever happened to the medical profession. That is Dr. Anthony Pinozzo. Here is a gentleman and a physician who graduated from the most prestigious college out, Ohio State University, who guarantees that if you walk into his office with a migraine headache, you will walk out pain-free forever. No drugs, no surgery. Have you ever heard of something like that? I mean, think of this. Go in, no drugs, no surgery, get rid of a migraine headache. Get rid of any kind of pain you have. You'll never, ever have to be operated on. So before anyone goes in for surgery, here's what you should do. You should call Dr. Anthony Pinozzo at 561-381-5800. Come on in, let him sit down and talk to you. If you don't want to do that, Tuesday, February the 16th, Dr. Anthony Pinozzo will be live and in person at the South County Civic Center at 16700 Jog Road, Delray Beach. I'm going to give you a number you could call. It's 954-303-9563. Or you could visit Dr. Pinozzo at pinozzo.tv and make a reservation there. Or where else can they make a reservation, Freddie?
You can go to am2.tv as well if you need more information. It's a real simple gig that he's going to be doing. He's going to be talking about pain and how to get it out the body. He also has a show on Sundays, a lesson I do with him at 11 and 12 on
every
WBZT and 94.3 FM.
And people call up all the time talking about some of the problems they have. Dr. Anthony Pinozzo was a graduate of the prestigious Ohio State University and is a musculoskeletal specialist. So if you want to call him, you can call him at 561-381-5800. And I hope you're doing well, Doc. And now back to the show.
Hold on. Let them know that the boys from Brooklyn...
and the boys from Brooklyn recognize you. And always one thing about us.
That's right.
Both you, me, and half the people at iHeart Radio have been our patients at Dr. Pinozzo.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys, boys?
Yes.
I've had migraines since I am 5 years old.
Whoa, you're a patient
And
now.
You
I
give
am
migraines or you have
definitely-
migraines?
I probably do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But, there's no pleasure in life if you can't give someone a migraine.
But the pain, man.
But the pain is worth the pleasure.
You know what?
So,
I'd love you to go to see
I
him.
will. I'm
Yeah.
absolutely, and the next time you have me on your show, I'm going to tell you what a success it is. Because I get them monthly. It's awful.
What do you mean next time you have a show? You're on Monday, aren't you?
Okay, absolutely.
Right, Freddie? What do
Thank
you think?
I think it's all thumbs up to me. Let's ask Connecticut. What do you think?
What do you think, Connecticut? How good is she?
She's good.
You
Wait.
want to make
I love
this two boys and a gal?
No,
Two boys and a
Two
broad.
boys and two gals.
Two
I-
broads.
boys and
Two
a broad.
broads.
Well, I'll tell you what I love about this lady. Number one, if she does something that Freddie and I don't bring to the table, preparation.
Well, she was in the news business.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. She was.
This chick was she was a anchor lady.
She was an anchor lady. I mean,
Well, I wasn't
ESPN?
an anchor. No, that's not true. Don't get it
Didn't you do
backwards.
ESPN?
No.
No, she-
I produced commercials.
ABC.
And I was a spokesperson for a variety of programs. So I was on and off the air and in front of the camera, behind the cameras. But I spent most of my adult career behind the camera. My younger days, I was in front of the camera.
What was the biggest gig you did in front of a camera?
The funniest thing I did in front of the camera was being naked on TV at the age of 2. I was the original Johnson & Johnson baby.
Get out of here.
And most people remember the commercial was shot in
Wow.
19... Oh,
I
almost gave it away!
I knew I recognized that
But
derriere.
yeah, it was a very famous commercial. Jodie Foster was famous for the Pampers commercial where you saw her tush.
And John
I
Travolta?
was
Come on.
famous- which commercial did he do?
He did the one in the shower, shaving.
I don't
Oh,
remember that. I thought that
remember
was Joe
that.
Namath.
Yes, no.
Oh,
no, yeah.
I don't
Joe,
think so.
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath.
No,
It
no,
was
no. This
no, I
was
think
John
he's
Travolta,
right.
and it was a Band-Aid commercial he did also. When he was in the shower and the Band-Aid wouldn't come off, Joe Namath did Wet Noxzema, Clean Your Face.
With who?
Woo!
With the blonde. What's the blonde?
Farrah Fawcett.
Oh,
Okay,
I
but wait a
worked
minute. I
with
want to
her.
get back
She
to
was
this. I want to get back to this tush. So you were the original tush?
Yeah, I was naked on TV at the age of 2. There was a very famous commercial where you would see a mom and her friend bathing a 2-year-old in a bathtub. You would
remember- yes.
probably
I remember
it
that.
ran for 10 years. I was the baby, and they washed her hair, and the woman says, "My daughter has no more tears."
I
And
remember
then-
that. If you can call up and tell us that you've seen that commercial,
we ran for
you know
10
you have a
years.
beauty mark.
I did.
Oh my God!
Hold on a second. No, wait, hold it. Okay. Hold it.
Goodness.
Give me a bell, please. Thank you.
Wait, how do you know she had a beauty mark on her
Because
derriere?
I watched that commercial.
No,
when I
you're,
was growing
you're
up.
almost the same age, you and
no,
her.
he's playing with you.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
What's wrong with
Don't
you?
age me, my friend.
No.
She's
You're
a lot
older?
younger than me.
Oh, yeah.
You're killing me. Oh my God, do I need
Oh.
some Botox? Because if I
We don't
No.
believe in Botox, right, Dr. Pinozzo?
She's younger than me.
So
I remember
I
that
am.
commercial, No More Tears. You know why?
It was very famous.
Of
It's
course it
not
was. I used to
famous.
tell my mother, I said, Mom, can you stop using lye? Come on, get me some of this stuff. You don't cry when you... So I used to go, look, and I used to put it in my
Well, I got a great trivia question. Joe Montana, after Farrah left, there was another girl
I
that
worked
came
with
in.
Farrah. She was woof.
Joe
Nightmare.
Montana married the girl that took Farrah's job.
Farrah Fawcett?
Yeah, Farrah Fawcett was the original girl, and then what's her name did it?
I
can't
worked
remember
on
her
a
name.
show that you boys would remember as well. I don't think you would remember Connecticut. You're way too young for this, but it was called Farrah Fawcett's All of Me. It was for Playboy when she turned 50.
I saw that.
And
I
she
saw
was
that.
naked, and she was rolling around. I worked on that show
She
for
never
10
did anything for me. I never.
Oh, she was. Oh my goodness, it
On-
was hell.
What did you want her to do for you? What do you want her to do for you?
No, I
Did you ever own Playboy?
Let me say this. On Charlie's Angels, the one that really, to me, was the most gorgeous,
Jacqueline Smith.
you got it.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful women in the world was Jacqueline
She
Smith,
was
right?
beautiful, but
Oh.
so was what was her name? Cheryl Ladd. She was
Oh,
beautiful.
Cheryl Ladd was
She
gorgeous.
was
But she
stunning.
wasn't the original one. It was
No,
that.
it was
yeah.
Farrah.
It was Farrah?
Farrah made it 1 year and then she was fired after working with her for 8 days.
Oh, really?
I understand. I don't.
And look
know
at
if she
this.
made
They got
1
your
year.
commercial.
Oh, is
Oh
that?
my goodness!
Oh.
No, that's not my commercial now. It's way before YouTube. You actually cannot find a copy of my commercial because I researched. The famous girl who's famous for the original No More Tears is actually Yasmin Bleeth. She did a
No.
remake of it when she was 6 years old. I've called Johnson & Johnson because originally when
Wow,
I had
Yasmin
my baby,
Bleeth.
I was a TV producer for many years. I actually
Right.
produced a lot of TV commercials. And I always had this vision that I wanted to have my child and me, and we would do flashbacks to that commercial of 1970. What did I say? And we were going to do a flashback where you would have me watching my
1974.
child's hair and say, back in the day I was used No More Tears, and today I use it on my own children.
That's right.
But
That's a
I
good
couldn't
spot.
find the
All right,
commercial.
somebody call Johnson &
because
Johnson.
in 1971, I think they first started creating a library for commercials, and they're just you can't find the footage. I have photos of me on the old TVs that were shaped like
Oh
a square
my
with
gosh,
legs
that's amazing.
on the commercial. And I remember running up to my mother, "Mommy, my commercial's on the air," because I was 7 or 8 when it was still running. And they would come downstairs and we'd take a picture of the TV. And so
And there you have it.
I did a lot of work in front of
Her,
and behind
her
the camera.
derriere is famous.
My derriere. No,
Your
I have a
derriere
question.
ain't famous. Nobody wants to see your derriere.
Jewish guys don't have derrieres.
But whatever
With
you
the
have,
flaps.
the dairy of the minus.
I have
Liz.
the minus of the dairy.
That's
Liz, was it in color or black and white?
The commercial was in color. I wasn't
color.
that old. My
Oh,
goodness.
God.
They had crayons
It
in
was,
those
you
days.
know, if
huh?
anybody has a contact with Johnson & Johnson, and I do know a few people who worked there for a while, I am trying to find the original commercial. I guess I'm going to have to give my age. It was shot around 1969, 1970. I was
that
the
YouTube
baby.
was
It looks
1969.
like that. That doesn't look like It was
Let me
me.
see. I could tell you.
Hold on. Let me
That's
see.
it.
That's it.
That's
it.
absolutely it.
That is us.
That's the commercial.
Hey,
Where are you finding that?
because Connecticut is a
YouTube.
research person. She
No, but I
knows.
think that's a remake.
Hey, the remake
I bet
or
it
not,
look
that's
like
your
me,
butt.
baby.
That's a remake of your
All
butt.
Girls. No, that's a remake. The
That's a
original
remake.
commercial was
That's
me.
a remake of your butt.
That's a remake of the original commercial.
Let me talk about Dr. Pinozo again.
But yeah, it's we'll find it. Someone will find it for us.
Anybody out there that can find that video, let us know.
800-889-0267.
So,
So-
yeah, it was celebrity butt on our
I
hands.
want to
I've done a lot of. I actually was the girlfriend of Don Johnson in Miami Vice
I
for
love
one
Don
episode.
Johnson.
That was fun. When
I thought she
moved
was
to
the girlfriend
Florida.
of Don Johnson in real life.
I
was
had
just
a
oof.
line in a Miami Vice TV episode where I went from girlfriend to a cocktail waitress where I said, "Would you like an hors d'oeuvre?" That was one episode.
I'm probably one of the few people. I met Don Johnson many years ago, and to me, I like him.
He
I
was
think,
very nice to me.
I
I
think
liked
he's
him.
nice to everybody. He's just a down-to-earth, really cool guy. I like Don Johnson. He had a new show on the air, which I thought was Blood and Oil.
I didn't like that show.
Oh,
very
I
much,
loved it.
actually.
You didn't like that show?
Who is
No.
the partner of Don Johnson? The black gentleman. What's his name?
Paul something or other.
It's three names.
Well,
Paul-
that,
Michael Paul something.
that gentleman
something
is
like
married to.
Oh, we got
Philip
it.
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas.
What's
Yes.
his name?
Michael Thomas.
Michael
Philip
Thomas.
Michael
Philip Michael
Thomas.
Philip Michael
Well,
Thomas.
well, that gentleman, we do business with his wife in Orlando. She owns a food situation, and she wants to do video stuff with him.
He was another nice guy. I liked them both.
I know this is like a really fascinating topic about film and whatnot, and I can talk about that stuff for years. But I want to bring us back to Brooklyn. 'cause
No,
this
here
show
we
is
go.
Yes,
about
here we go.
Here
Let's
we
see,
go.
that's-
What do you got?
And it's because I spent time last night
That's right.
researching
No,
fun
that's
facts.
great.
Let's use up your
And my
time.
hope is that you guys out there will call in and give us your fun facts and things that maybe I haven't found.
What do you got?
But
800?
there's two or three more things that I found that were very interesting. One is that some things invented in Brooklyn include the deep fried Twinkie. Who doesn't love a Twinkie?
No way.
Invented in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn? How
If
many?
Google
deep
is correct,
fried
the deep
Oh,
fried Twinkie.
you know what? You're right. You know where it's that guy from England who did the fish and chips. It's called the
The
fish
guy
stop.
from England who invented it in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
I love that.
Deep fried Twinkie. Oh,
Let's
God.
see. Sweet and
disgusting.
low, because you're sweet and you're low in Brooklyn.
Sweet and low in Brooklyn. Wow.
Sweet and low. Teddy bears. Teddy bears are, are
The Teddy
born
Bear
in Brooklyn.
Company of Brooklyn.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah, when I was growing up, it was huge.
America's very first roller coaster, as we know.
Yes.
You know, which
No,
is
what was it
Yeah.
called?
The Cyclone.
There's my
Of course,
girl.
the Brooklyn Cyclone.
Cyclone.
And now the Brooklyn. Just segueing back, like, why did the Dodgers leave Brooklyn? The old joke is because they wanted to get out of Dodge. But really, it's because, just one day they decided the Dodgers and the Giants just wanted to move to L.A. There was really I've been researching, there was no real good reason
Really?
why they got up and left.
I thought they were giving a lot of money to go. I don't know. It's,
Well, they must have been given a lot of money, but it
you-
happened very quickly.
You do know that the borough of Brooklyn on its own would be ranked fourth largest city in the United States.
Yep.
Oh, I
That's
can
one of
believe
the
that.
reasons you have teams in Brooklyn, or had teams in Brooklyn.
Well, it actually, it said that if you took all the populace of Brooklyn and you calculated, they would be the fourth largest populace.
Yep.
That's what it
Yep.
says here.
And New York has the largest Chinese population of any city outside of
do
Asia
you know why?
because they have good Chinese food.
Nope. There's another reason why. Because most Jewish people on Sunday, right? What are
Largest Jewish community.
Liz?
Yes.
Am I right?
What's
Jewish
that?
people on a Sunday would always go out for Chinese food on Sunday.
And a movie.
Yep, that's exactly
It's
right.
Every Sunday, Chinese food and a movie.
I remember
and
that.
we do that on Christmas
They
Eve,
do
too.
it here now. I noticed that they talk
You know,
about Chinese
and
food.
New Year's, because the only place you can get food on Christmas if you're Jewish is a Chinese restaurant. That's right.
That's right.
And do you know
It's the
that
only thing open.
Do you know that New York is the largest Puerto Rican population in the world? Largest Puerto Rican. I'm not talking about Latino. You go Latino, be even bigger.
No,
So here's more information about the Brooklyn Dodgers that I found, right? So they were active in the major leagues from 1884 until 1957.
Wow.
Which is when they moved to Los Angeles, and then they continued on in their history of Los Angeles as the Los Angeles Dodgers. The team's name derived from the reputable skill of Brooklyn residents as evading the city's trolley streetcar network. The Dodgers played in two stadiums, South Brooklyn and Washington Park, and at the Eastern Park in the neighborhood of Brownsville before moving to Ebbets Field in the neighborhood of Flatbush in 1913. And they were most noted for signing Jackie Robinson in 1947 as the first black player in the modern league.
That's
Wow.
what. That's
Interesting,
what
right?
yeah. See, I thought it was Roy Campanella. It was. You were
It's-
right.
No.
No, you're right. It
Jackie
was Jackie
Jackie
Robinson.
Robinson
right.
was first.
And I think that
1947.
then Roy Campanella. Yeah, I think they were the first.
Jackie Robinson was first.
What?
Jackie Robinson was
Yeah.
first.
I think they were the first station to break the color barrier, which is great. Good going, Brooklyn.
That's what I
And
know.
speaking about Brooklyn and baseball, I have a divided household. My daughter's a Yankee fan. My son's a Met fan.
Oh my God.
And we used to go to the Cyclone games when they were kids before we moved
Oh,
here.
the Cyclone.
Do you know the
And-
Cyclone
Yeah.
team?
Yeah,
Who's
the
the
Brooklyn
affiliate?
Cyclones.
Who's the Brooklyn Cyclone affiliation for?
You just told me.
Triple A. Yeah.
Triple
Your son
A
is the
baseball.
best.
And the Mets.
The Mets.
And so, what I love about the Cyclones, and I don't know if anybody who's moved down here as a transplant from Brooklyn, is this aired in Brooklyn, by the way?
It can.
So right now it's airing in Florida, right? So
It's
there's
airing
a
all
lot-
over the internet. As anyone that has a computer can watch us.
And they can watch us in New York too.
And the iHeartMedia app and the TuneIn app, all of that is you can hear us, watch us all over the United States.
In other words, next time put on some better lipstick because
So back to the Brooklyn Cyclones. What's so really cool about them is you can take your kids down to see a game, and not only can you sit where they have, the guy who wears his big costume, I can't think of what he is, big cyclone bear or whatever he is, and he dances around and he tries to get you guys excited. But then the game ends,
Cyclone bear.
all the kids can run into the field,
That's right.
meet
Yeah,
and
that's
greet
right.
the ball players, and then they get to run around the bases. I mean, that's
that's great
just
for the
a
kids.
great
Yeah,
experience.
kids love that. Yeah, you're right.
You can't
you're
do
right.
that anywhere else.
No.
I mean, it's
Well, hey,
fabulous.
listen, I just got a fact that came in on my phone. And I'm going to ask, are you allowed to go topless in Florida?
Yes.
Do you know New York? You are?
Hallandale Beach.
Are you
Really?
Hallandale Beach. They've got.
Now, I want to know how you know that. Uh-huh.
Are
Bada
you
boom.
a swinger less and we didn't know it?
No. I'll tell you what it is. A buddy of mine, we would park our car in Hollywood, Florida, and we just walk the beach.
Yeah, of course. I wonder why.
And then I said to him, look at that. Yeah, it's a private beach that allows you to be topless and bottomless.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about in a city. In New York City,
No.
women can go topless. Did you know that?
No,
It's
I
not
didn't.
against the
not know
law
that.
as long as you don't make money at it. So if somebody gives you $1 to see a nipple, you're going to jail. No nipple, no dollar.
Did we just get sued again?
Speaking of which, I used to live on 43rd and 11th in a place called the Riverbank West Building.
Oh, I know where that is.
43rd and 11th. I used to work for.
It's where the rich people went, right, Freddie?
43rd
I
and
lived in-
11th is not rich.
I lived in-
well, it is now.
Well, now it is, but not back
I
in the
lived
day.
down there. That's in Manhattan, not Brooklyn. It's because I was working in the television industry, and I was working for shows like Geraldo and Montel Williams.
So it
and
was
I
easy to cross
working-
the street to work.
Well,
It was on the
I actually,
west side.
I produced a bunch of commercials, and I was what they call a second AD, and we worked at a place called Silver Cup, and Silver Cup was in Queens. In Long
Oh,
Island
I
City.
remember Silver Cup.
So we used to have to drive a cube truck, and I was this kid out of college,
Wait,
and
what?
I drove
Oh,
a
the
cube
cube
truck,
truck,
which were
yeah.
these big white trucks, and that's how we brought all the directors and different people over the bridge to go to Long Island City. But when I would get up in the morning, it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would have to leave, and I lived around the corner from where the cube trucks were based, and also a very famous restaurant, which I think was called Edelweiss, which was the first gay restaurant.
Open
and,
gay
and
restaurant.
also that diner that was there, the
I wasn't
Cullen
there.
Diner that's in all the movies.
Yes,
That's
the one
where
they
I
use on
lived.
Seinfeld.
Was right above that
I know
same
exactly. I used to work
Oh, is
down
that
there.
the one from Seinfeld?
I used to
That's
work.
right where I lived.
I used to work down there.
And it was the only drive-in diner in Manhattan. And I used to drive this cube truck, and I'd have to leave. And I was this girl with long blonde hair down to my tush. I was like 90 pounds
tush
wet.
again.
And I would have to come out of the apartment, and all the prostitutes would stand on the street.
That's right.
And
That's
they,
what I
and
was
the drug
alluding
dealers,
to.
And they all knew me, and they'd all be, "Hi, sweetheart, going to work today?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, girlfriend, you just getting home?" And I would hang with them. And the only reason why I felt protected was because there was a fire station, a firehouse right next door to my building.
And the pimp was in the
And the
in
guys
the car.
used to watch out for me when I would go out to work because
I
they
re-
knew I would go out to pick up the cube trucks. 10 years later, my apartment was like $2,300 a month to live in a 3-bedroom apartment facing the water.
Gee,
10 years
yeah.
later, it was
true.
$6,800 a month to live in that
But
apartment.
think about $2,300. That's a lot of money in those
It
days.
was not compared to other places in Manhattan. But I would walk around to take the subway on 42nd Street, and I would my favorite thing to do was to read the signs in the movie theaters that would say, triple X, do you know how to have some cocks, things like that. And each theater would be
Are
another
we okay? We're
story.
still okay?
The bottom.
Cocks?
No, that's the food.
Okay. let me tell you something. Do you know the only place when they had that big real estate crisis that wasn't affected was Manhattan?
Right, because the real estate kept booming.
Well, what happened was Walt
got
Disney bought everything down there and got all the prostitution.
Well, now
and
it's
everything.
Disneyland. All
Yeah,
of 42nd
Disney.
Street is Disneyland. And what's even more interesting is now, because New York is so expensive, to bring it back to Brooklyn, Park Slope, Williamsburg, Bedford Stuyvesant. Do you know the median price of an apartment in Brooklyn is now $650,000?
Gentrification made
$650,000.
made Harlem burn out. You remember the Harlem burnout buildings?
Yeah.
$500,000.
Oh, yeah,
$2 million.
Harlem got
You can't even buy those anymore.
Stuyvesant
But
is
the
in
point I was trying to make,
650s.
this was we had the worst crash of real estate a couple of years ago, and the only two places that weren't affected was San Francisco and New York.
And Brooklyn.
Well, I mean,
Brooklyn
Brooklyn, Bedford Stuy, like Freddie said, was amazing.
Cobble Hill,
Yeah.
Red
What do we got?
Hook.
2 minutes? 3 minutes. Okay, listen, I got one for you. I
All
don't
right.
know if in Brooklyn they had this. Do you remember when you used to go into different like White Castles? You go to White
White
Castles.
Fright, we
did
called
they
it.
Did they ever have White Castles in Brooklyn?
Oh, I don't know. I had them in Long Island.
I had them
We
in the
called them
Bronx.
White Fright.
We used to go over
Yes,
by.
I had them in Brooklyn because my father used to get a bag of burgers, and I don't remember how much it was. We'd get a bag of burgers.
we
That
used
would last
to
us
we used
4
to
weeks.
drive into White Castles over on Throgs Neck. And
My
they
stepfather
had
met my mother and took her on her first date to White Castle.
White Castles.
I promise you. That's
But they
what
used to
did.
come to the car with roller skates.
Yes,
Remember
you're
that?
right. The old white. Yes,
In
he's
And
Brooklyn?
right.
then, and,
Yep.
yeah, in the Bronx. And then you used to order through her, and she used to roll down your window, and they used to put the tray
The tray
on top
right
of
there,
the
100
window.
you're right.
Is this the 1950s?
No, honey, this was in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah, White Castles. It was, I'll never forget, it was on the expressway heading towards the Washington Bridge, but it was on the Bronx side.
And you know those are the best hamburgers.
I used to
they
eat
only-
20 of them.
They're like thin little squares.
Yes.
You know why? You know what they put the holes in there for? Let's see if you could guess.
They told me that's the way they...
Will fall out?
No, they
Nope.
told me that's the way they stacked them because
No,
they came in
no.
in multiples.
The reason they put the holes in there is because when they put the onions on, they never had to turn over the burger. The hole was was to make the burger on the top. So when they did that, it was easy for them. They could get them out fast. I was watching on the Food Network. They were doing like all the things, how people do this, how people do that, and that was the biggest question.
And now White Castles is in your Publix freezer. It's not the same
Yep.
thing.
Freddie, let me tell you.
So
30
I want Les to go and get some White Castles so he can wear some roller skates in the skirt and bring them to me so I can
I'd
have
love to see
just
that.
a little feeling.
If this show doesn't go well, you could see me at the iHeart station riding around with my roller skates. Before we go, I want to tell everyone, don't forget the seminar with Dr. Anthony Pinozzo at 16700 Jog Road. It's going to be one of the most informative seminars you'll ever want. And when you go to Dr. Pinozzo, remember, we recommend him, and so does everybody else.
I can't wait to meet him.
Now
Thank
listen,
you.
real quick, Super Bowl picks for Sunday. Who do you got?
I am so not a
Come on,
football
give me a
fan.
name. Denver or Carolina?
I got
Come on.
Denver.
Anybody, any team that has Peyton Manning on it.
Who do you got?
I like
Denver?
Peyton.
I got
Denver.
Denver. You got Denver. You
Peyton
want
Manning, Peyton
Denver.
Manning,
4
Peyton
Denvers.
Manning.
Jesus
Well, hold
Christ.
it. Hold it. Here's something that you should know, everybody. 64% of the betting in Vegas is going for Peyton.
It
All
has
right.
to. I mean, he's
All right.
awesome.
30 seconds. We're out of here. Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
your
boys.
weekend. Have a great day. 2 boys from Brooklyn abroad.
abroad.
We'll see you Monday.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's about it for today's lunch break with 2 boys from Brooklyn. You're invited to join the break every day, Monday through Friday at 12 noon. So, if you missed some of the good stuff they served up today, there's more coming next time. Bring your lunch and the boys from Brooklyn will bring the smiles. And it's all live. See you next time. Now go and enjoy the rest of your day.